right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our July 26th council meeting. Be it resolved that the agenda for the regular council meeting of July the 26th, 2022 be adopted. Mover?
Henry Siemens.
Seconder?
Dawn?
Thank you. Any additions to the agenda? Hearing none. All in favor? And that is carried. Just a second here. Be it resolved the minutes of the regular council meeting of July the 12th, 2022 be adopted. Mover?
Michael?
Seconder?
Karina, no, you can have it.
Okay, Andrew, thanks. All in favor? And that is carried. Correspondence, we have a letter here from regarding immigration, notice of an advisory board or a member advisory where they're coming to Winkler on August the 4th, 10:30 till noon to get some public input. And actually, at that same time, they're also going to be coming out and meeting with our community development office and Leah and myself. So
Who else has been invited to this?
for this one's open. But the meeting that we're having before that is just the three of us.
Oh, okay. So like, should we be suggesting this to some HR people or no?
You could, for sure. I think that this came through my Winkler
sure.
resource, right? Or through my PV Lip, excuse me.
This one came from AMM.
Okay, I saw it come through my PV Lip as well.
I got one from Regional Connections also.
Yeah, so I think they're opening it up. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sorry, our HR.
Yeah, it's
been gone for
open.
2 weeks now.
has been gone.
Shut down.
Mm.
Should have been gone for 3 weeks.
Okay, anyway, just so you're aware that it's going on. Henry. Moving on, be it resolved that accounts payable amount of $432,748.13 as approved by the Finance Committee be approved for payment. Mover?
Henry Siemens.
Seconder?
Andrew?
And we have the attached check register. Anybody have any questions regarding the check register?
Well, I liked the total a little bit better when I saw it
Rather
the
than
other day. And I thought
1.5
that might have been
million?
the smallest one in history. But I see Jody found a few more bills that needed to be paid.
Yep, yep.
Vera was off too.
Ah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. Okay, no questions from that, then we'll move on. Be it resolved that the Finance Committee minutes, what?
Yeah, no, that's good.
Be it resolved the Finance Committee minutes for July the 14th, 2022 meeting be adopted. Mover?
Henry Siemens.
Thank you. A seconder?
Andrew?
Thanks, Andrew. All in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that finance report for June 2022 be received for information. Mover?
Henry Siemens.
Seconder?
Andrew?
Any questions regarding the finance report? Attached are the financial statements as well, if you've had a chance to go through them. The report is a condensed version, but
Yeah, I left a note in there just regarding the, a few of the charges were, or a few of the budgets were quite low, the spend so far for the first 6 months. I assume that that's ramped up in the last month.
Yeah, and it just depends on the payment cycle of some of them. So some accounts are gonna be well spent early in the year, and some will be later in the year.
Yeah,
So it depends on which accounts they are.
like if you-
what
if you
season
take-
we're into, I guess.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
take a look at the revenue for the pool as an example, I mean, that's very
Right.
low comparison,
Mhm.
but then it's gonna ramp up for the next several
Mhm.
months. And likewise with the arena rentals, and
Mhm.
so
And-
you get those seasonal.
And in terms of some of the maintenance, like for sidewalks and all those things, those
Mhm.
bills certainly have not all come in yet.
Okay, that's what,
And
that
there's
was my
some ongoing
specific
work.
question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, all in favor? That is carried. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2285-22 for fees and charges be given a first reading. Mover?
Henry Siemens.
Seconder?
Andrew?
Thank you. Any questions regarding those fees and bylaws? Fees and charges, I should say.
I appreciate that they highlight the changes
Yeah.
instead of having to read it all through
Otherwise it's too-
comparison.
you don't know what's
Very much
changed.
appreciated.
And most of these
Exactly.
have been to committee already, and this is just formalizing it in the bylaw.
Thank
All
you.
in favor? And that is carried. Whereas the City of Winkler Utility Fund incurred an operating deficit of $40,994 for the year of 2019, be it resolved that Council of the City of Winkler hereby requests Public Utilities Board to authorize that the 2019 deficit hereby be approved and recovered through the utilities accumulated fund surplus. Mover?
Andrew?
Seconder?
Don?
And you read the notes there in regards
Yep.
to what that process will look like.
Just change the year.
Yeah,
Absolutely
did you see
nothing
my year?
changes other than
My-
it's shifting numbers around.
I just put a note in there that the 2022 has an extra 2
Yep,
in your
I saw that.
application.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, all in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved, the attached utility arrears be added to the respective tax rolls. Mover?
Andrew?
Seconder?
Michael?
Thank you. Any questions? Hearing none. All in favor?
That total, Jody, isn't higher than typical, is it?
It's usually very
Very
Similar.
similar
Consistent.
listing.
And I thought maybe even the dollar figure was lower this time than it's been.
It might be slightly lower, yeah.
The same rule numbers are
A
usually.
lot
on
of the same.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of the same.
Yeah.
Be it resolved that Winkler Police Board minutes for July the 13th, 2022 meeting be adopted. Mover?
Andrew?
Seconder?
I can help.
Thank you. Any questions regarding the minutes?
A huge thank you for Ryan's 20 years. That's a massive accomplishment. We are very fortunate to have that dedication and loyalty in our community.
Is that a doubt?
I was anticipating maybe he was going to be here tonight, but I guess not.
Good,
Yeah,
excellent.
no, congratulations, certainly well worthwhile. All in favor? And that is carried. Next one, as you well know, we've been looking for somebody to sit in on the Boundary Trails Health Foundation as a board rep for the city of Winkler. And we still have Ernie Penner on there. And the second one that has consented to allow his name to be placed on that list is Bernie Thiessen. And so therefore be it resolved, the City of Winkler appoint Bernie Thiessen as the City of Winkler representative on the Boundary Trails Health Center Foundation Board of Directors. Mover
Henry Siemens, enthusiastically so.
Mhm.
and second.
Karina, also enthusiastic.
so?
Yes, thank you.
Right on,
Yes.
okay.
+1. Thank you.
Are there any objections? No? All in favor? That is carried. Be it resolved, the Planning Committee minutes for July the 14th, 2022 meeting be adopted. Mover,
Henry Siemens?
seconder?
Don?
Any questions regarding Planning Committee minutes?
Here it says the development fees increased in 2022. Didn't you guys, in a previous comment, said 23?
It's
Mhm.
supposed to be 23.
It is
Yeah,
23.
It is 23.
Effective 23.
Because it says in item 3 there, recommendation is that effective October 31st, 2022, it's going to increase.
Yeah,
That
the
was- That was
minutes-
the recommendation
Originally.
with,
Right.
that came to committee.
Was this just the agenda?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm reading
yeah.
it
Right.
wrong.
Yeah.
Never mind.
And then from there, we
Wrong
went back.
file, sorry.
Bingo.
We
no
gave him a
problem.
day, we gave him a year of grace.
I knew I read that somewhere, but I guess.
It's in the rest of the story.
Yep.
All right, so all in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2288-22 be given first reading. Mover,
Henry Siemens?
seconder?
Don?
Thank you. All in favor? That is carried. This just puts it on the floor. Be it resolved that council approves subdivision number 4463-22-8221, subject to the variance and conditional use approval to each owner obtaining appropriate occupancy permits from MSDW. Mover,
Henry Siemens?
seconder?
Don?
And everybody's clear which subdivision or which,
Yeah, that existing
Plan
title
unit.
there on the picture is not, or where it's pointing to is in the wrong
that was-
spot.
Correct.
right. That's why I was wondering if everybody was clear. Do you need some explanation? Jody, you want
I think the subsequent supporting documents clearly show
Clearly show.
the,
Correct.
the location.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
to?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Be it resolved, this meeting of council recess for the purpose of holding public hearings. Mover,
Michael.
seconder,
Karina.
all in favor? That is carried.
Do you want to start? I
Yep.
think we have some of the proponents here.
If
so-
the- Yeah, if they're here, then it is all.
Okay. So this public hearing is for variance application VA 2022-026. And it's for, the applicant is Randy Clausen on behalf of owners Randall and Catherine Clausen at 126 Olive Bay. The variance here is to reduce the required building separation from 10 feet to 2.5 feet in the R1 lower residential zone. We put out all of the notifications as required, and we did not receive any objections to the application in our office. You also have a report to council on this application as well. There should be a letter from the owners attached as well.
Mhm.
So for the public hearing, if anyone wants to speak on it, we'd ask that you please come to the microphone, address the chair, and then we can take turns as whoever wants to participate.
Okay, maybe ask the proponent if there's anything you want to add in regards to the application, or just maybe state your name so the clerk can record it.
Yeah, I'm Randy Clausen, and I'm the owner of 126 Olive Bay, along with my wife Catherine. But yeah, so in fall of 2021, we had some concrete work done in our backyard, and in anticipation of building a screen room. And at that time, we didn't put a lot of thought into it, other than how we'd like it to look and where we'd like it to be placed. And so in spring, when we said, oh, I guess we should take out a building permit, my wife came to the city hall, to the permitting department, and there was some discussion over the counter, and it was sounding like we might not meet the requirements of the bylaw, a certain bylaw in the city of Winkler. So, and after some discussion, we said, well, we're gonna build it. And in hindsight, probably should have done this step first. But yeah, so that's kind of how it came to this point. I was the general contractor for the work that happened. There was multiple different contractors doing different pieces of it. But yeah, so now it's there, and we're hoping that we can. I should add, and it's also in the letter, just I researched a number of just different jurisdictions, communities around us. I didn't see it anywhere in their bylaws. I may have missed it, but I think I looked in the right areas. So I was just, I didn't understand the rationale for attached to the home versus detached, and the spaces used for the same purpose, how one was more of a risk or hazard versus the other. So that's kind of just some
Okay.
questions or thoughts I had.
Okay.
So,
Good points, appreciate it. Is there anybody here who's objecting to that? No? Okay. Thanks for sharing. Council, any questions? Pretty self-explanatory. Therefore, be it resolved, this public hearing for variation number VA 2022-026 be closed. Mover,
Karina.
seconder,
Andrew?
and that is carried. All in favor, sorry, all in favor, now it's carried. Yeah, I'll just say the regulations are there primarily because of fire hazard. I think the individual buildings separated from the house is treated a little bit differently as far as fire code is concerned. So I think that's the reason the bylaw is there. But appreciate you coming and taking out the application. Be it resolved that council approve variance number VA 2022-026, subject to a MSTW building permit and required modifications resulting from their inspections, which I'm assuming,
Yeah, I think what they're saying is, and there was a note to council there from staff, just saying that if there was further fire guard protection required by MSTW, then that would be a requirement. I
Right.
don't know that there will be, but if there is, we just want it to be part of the agreement.
I
So-
would so move.
all right, thank you.
Do,
Seconder?
I'll second it.
No, thank you.
Question. Have the owners seen this report to council? Some of the details?
What have you been notified by staff? Anything?
Well, the notice of the variance, on our boulevard, so obviously, and other than that, I don't know, do you have any discussion or anything?
No, we just received that original letter from MSTW saying we needed to take out a building permit and then variance. And that's the last we heard of from them.
so then
Okay,
we should.
then we'll just make sure
yeah.
staff can.
There's, I'll just make one comment here. Where it says, the way the code is written, a fire separation is not required when owners are only exposing risk to themselves, no tenants or secondary suites, and/or the risk is perceived to be low. Section 9, 10, 15 of the building code requires 2.4 meters or 8 feet building separation from the principal dwelling and any detached secondary suite. So maybe as far as if you're not, if you're only exposing risk to yourselves, not to anybody else, that might, I could see, let's say, if it would be a garage, for instance, you would have combustibles in there, and that's where the risk would be.
Yeah, and so after all this, we've been paying close attention to what's out there, and what you just described is, there's lots of that back in there, garage or sheds, whatever, so it's, but I understand it's hard to monitor every property.
Yeah, if they don't take permits out, it's hard to monitor it, and some of them either are grandfathered in from before the codes changed and so forth too, right? But
You probably
So
see,
when
you,
we received this, and we then really had our eyes open to that, we thought,
yeah, and that's the same thing as you can relate to the gas companies when you see all kinds of different plumbing that shouldn't be there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And some of them will likely be similar to this, that a variation has been granted. Sometimes a fire separation is required. In this instance, you'll make your case to MSTW, but we're dealing specifically with the variation here today. So,
so, well, my elderly neighbor asked me to give this to city council, so.
oh boy.
Can I bring it to you, Jody?
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's.
I'll make copies and send.
She, yeah, thought it was
That's
perfect.
cute.
You guys have that.
perfect.
Thank you for the clarification.
Mark Bennett was not the elderly neighbor.
So is there anything there we should know about today, or do we put that in the press, or?
I can read it to you if you like.
If you don't mind.
Sure.
So this is from George and Lenora Nickel, it looks like, at 124 Olive Bay, City of Winkler Council. I'm writing this letter in answer to the letter written to us by the Winkler Planning and Permitting Department. Winkler is a wonderful city to live in, and Don and I have lived here about 34 years now. As teachers in our younger years, we moved around and taught school in several communities in Manitoba and enjoyed them all. However, Winkler was chosen as our home to stay in and retire in, and we love it here. Olive Bay is, I'm very sure, the best spot to live in, and we have wonderful friends and neighbors here. Randy and Kathy Clausen live next door to us, and we think they are the best. They are always ready to help in any way if their older neighbors, us, need it, and also ready to just have a friendly conversation over the garden fence or in each other's backyard. We were troubled to get the letter about their backyard sunroom, This is a very lovely addition to their backyard, a lovely place to sit and visit, and adds greatly to their yard. It is an excellent place for family and friends to gather. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. Appreciate it.
know how painful it is to be a variance, but make sure you get
Yeah.
But still nice to see.
Yeah, very nice, yeah.
When a
thanks.
senior woman asks, you just do it. You just do it.
Okay, we have a resolution on the floor. All in favor of approving this variance?
Oh,
And that is carried unanimously.
Thank you.
All the best. We have no additions, and so therefore we have one item that's after council meeting, so we will be resolved that this regular meeting of council be adjourned. Mover?
Don?
Don and Michael? Thank you. Council's adjourned. And we'll have your thing after, so. Okay. If